Welcome to Kindling Conversations, the podcast where warmth meets wit, and four friends gather around the crackling fire of camaraderie to share stories, laughs, and insights. So grab a cup of your favorite beverage, settle into your favorite spot, and let the glow of Kindling Conversations accompany you.
Welcome to Kindling Conversations, the podcast where warmth meets wit.
Okay, robot.
Okay. Today, I just want to let everybody know we're coming at you with a fireplace and rain in the background.
That rain is really loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It really
Anyways,
It's really coming
There
down.
is
My-
a shout out.
Oh, hold on.
we didn't have any.
My name
Oh my
is
God.
Caleb, and I am joined by my three amazing co-hosts.
Hi, I'm the amazing Ben.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Kyle.
And apparently we have a shout out.
Yep.
Who are we shouting out?
I'm waiting.
It's Mocha.
Kyle, we shouting out. She's looking at you.
Yeah, you apparently know who we're
I got
supposed to
no
be shouting
fucking
out.
clue.
Seriously,
Are we
Have you?
shouting you out?
our birthdays are 5 days apart.
Oh,
Oh,
happy birthday, Ashley.
happy birthday, babe.
Jesus.
You're just at that age where it's just another number.
Yeah. So how old is Ashley turning?
27,
24?
26.
24.
No, you're fucking not.
Yes, she
I
is.
am.
I turned 28.
Wow.
You're turning 24?
Yeah,
You were
Yes.
saying
old fuck.
27, so you thought what, we were turning 31 this year? Oh my. Anyway,
Yes,
Yeah,
you're-
because Ben and I are
Ashley,
3 years apart.
happy
Almost to the date.
happy
Yeah.
birthday to you.
Thank you.
You are
It should
1
have
year
been-
away from being able to rent a car without the extra added fees.
So
Yeah.
exciting.
I know. And you're 2 years away from having to be on your own insurance plan, which you might be already. I don't know. But
No.
I'm just saying,
She's
you're 2
mooching
years
off my
away from
parents.
having to do that. So,
She likes to tell this.
welcome.
She likes to tell this joke where she says my insurance is better, which is very.
We have
funny.
to go through it.
Well, either way, happy birthday.
Imagine
I-
mooching off your parents.
I hope your birthday was wonderful. Because
you.
it technically has passed already,
Yes.
but
We just forgot about it, apparently.
Benjamin,
no, apparently.
there's a message for you.
But today we are gonna go right into it, I guess. We don't really have any other shout outs besides Ashley's birthday. So why don't you go on socials and wish Ashley a happy birthday. You don't get that, Ben. Sorry. We didn't do that for you.
I know, thanks, whatever.
But it's okay. Find our latest post.
Whatever.
Find our latest post, comment happy birthday, Ashley, on it. And
I'll just leave then. Fine, I guess you guys want me here.
all right, bye.
It's not as good as if we had cameras. It would look better. I thought
Yeah,
I'd let you do anything.
Yeah, I pushed his microphone away from him so he could get up and leave. Anyways, today, let's go right into it. We're gonna. I think this one's gonna be a little bit more of a serious topic, honestly.
Yeah.
I think we will have our jokes and our laughs in it, but I think it's gonna be more serious. And we're gonna be talking about the 3 a.m. friend. Do you guys know what the 3 a.m. friend is?
No.
I do, just because you told me.
Oh, okay. The 3 a.m. friend.
Ashley, do you?
No.
The 3 a.m. friend was a concept that I was, reels on Facebook that I send Kyle, but he never responds.
Never.
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 You sent me
Um,
so many.
So what?
That's a lot to keep up with.
I don't send you that
It
many. You
was-
still don't respond, but all right.
The 3 a.m. friend was a concept I was introduced to on a reel on Facebook or TikTok. I really don't remember which one. But it's the notion that this is your friend that you can call at 3 a.m. Doesn't matter if you're lying in bed, passed out, or if you are in trouble, or you have a good situation happening. It's that friend you can call at 3 a.m. and they're going to answer no matter what. And they're going to answer genuinely without hesitation. The way that the video had described it, it was that friend that at 3 a.m. you call them and say, hey, bring some shovels. And they're going to, on their way out the door, like as soon as you call, they're going to be throwing their pants on, buckling their belts and going out the door. And, they're going to grab shovels and you don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something. So I think to boil it down, it's your best friend who's going to be there for you no matter what, whatever the situation is. If you need a friend to cry on their shoulder or you need a friend to celebrate a win with you, they're going to be there for you. Doesn't matter the time of day. Doesn't matter what they're going through in the moment. They're going to be there for you. And I guess, first off, does that definition make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then a question I would have for you, and this is, I guess, personal for you, because your 3am friend may be different than my 3am friend, like the qualities that make them a 3am friend. What qualities are you guys looking for in your 3am friend? And if you have someone who is your 3am friend, I can say, to start, I know Kyle is my 3am friend. Because I know that if I were to call him, it might take a couple calls to get through.
To get him up.
To get him up. But I know as soon as he answers, if I said...
No, if you call him, it's like duck sounds.
If you're in Sharon and you call 911, then yeah, I'll definitely wake up with the first call.
No, Kyle will wake up because it's freaking ducks. Quack, 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 quack. And it scares the crap out of
But-
It's
all
so
of
loud.
us.
But I know that if I were to call
Scared the
Kyle
subway guy.
at 3 a.m., even if it was a work night, and I said, Kyle, this terrible thing happened, I know without a doubt Kyle would be throwing his pants on and driving to me if I needed him.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, dude, be sorry. I was up all night.
He would probably call into work, depending on the situation too, I think it is.
Yeah.
If I just called him and was like, I got my heart broken, I don't know.
I would be yelling, Caleb, fucking suck it up.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
That's
Yeah.
why you're not a 3 a.m. friend to Caleb.
Yeah. Because Kyle would at least sit there and talk to me on the phone. But
Yeah.
if I were to call Kyle and tell him, hey, my dad passed or something, like he's in the
Yeah.
hospital,
Oh, man.
he's on the way out the door.
I'd be zooming before I even
Yeah.
got off the phone.
He's on the way out the door. He's to his car. He's out the door before we even hang up the phone. So like that is how I know Kyle is my 3 a.m. friend. Do you have someone like that?
Oh,
And if
yeah.
you don't, it's okay. Like
I think I know Ashley's.
It's pretty easy. I think Ben would know it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's my maid of honor.
Yep.
Like, we've been friends since the 7th grade. We've been through so much, literally life together. Even we went different directions in college, and we still stayed connected.
We went through an argument in high school, pretty big argument in high school.
We
and
went through like a
guys ended up
whole
back together.
argument in high school. And it was like, it was so hard not to like text or call her because like something would happen and I'd be like, oh, I gotta tell Carla. And then I'd be like, wait, we're not talking. And it's like, I didn't have anybody. And so at that point, like we both saw each other in the hallway and we just both started crying. Like
yeah.
this was too much. But I mean, yeah, I will be her first call and she'd be mine where I'm like, grab your shovel. And she'd be like, where am I meeting you?
Yeah.
And like so easily, so quickly. I mean, we joke about it all the time. She even said if like Kyle broke up with me, tell her when and where and he's gone that same night. And I'm like, you got me.
Kyle,
So
you might
Kyle,
not want to break up.
If
You're
you break
dead.
up with her, do me a favor,
And-
do me a solid.
Because
Just
it's
come over to
gonna
my house first and then just call her.
All through high school, we we watch Law and Order SVU. We watch like Criminal Minds. Like we know how to get away with murder. We even watched How to Get Away with Murder. Like that was our thing. Like at some point, she was like our neighbor, and I don't think like we would take turns being home at each other's house, but like it was never like we were not there. I mean, I got my wisdom teeth out, and she was there that night with me. So.
Ben, do you have a 3 a.m. friend?
No, I don't think I ever will.
His Peter.
No?
Fuck me, right?
And like I said, I don't think I ever will because I would feel bad too much for calling someone at 3 o'clock in the morning for my problem.
Yeah.
That's
it's
how we
just-
were
But,
raised.
okay, so let me
How I
ask you
am.
this. Let me ask
Ben's
you
in
this
my lineup,
instead.
and he doesn't even consider
Who's-
me his. Wow.
Who's
But again, it comes down to a problem with me. I would feel bad for calling you with my problem. It's my problem. I gotta deal with
If
it.
it's
That's
bad enough,
the
I
way
feel
my
like
mind works.
I
No,
feel
I
like
don't
let's
think I
call
would,
us.
so
okay, Ben? Let me
I
ask you
still
this.
think I would.
Let me ask you this.
It's
Let
just
me
how
get
I
deep and
am.
emotional here, real quick.
No, please don't.
You know,
We already
you're-
went over this in this podcast. I don't do go through emotions.
I know,
okay?
I know. I just real quick. It's just a question. 3 a.m. You get word that your dad passes. Ashley obviously would already know.
Yes.
Daddy K.
Barring Kyle being your brother-in-law and knowing already, who would you call first? Who would you call?
I really don't think I'd call anybody, to be honest.
No?
I would just sit there and
Ben would isolate.
I would. I 100% would.
That's
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 just how
a
I've always dealt
that's
with
a
emotion,
response that
and
some people
I
go
feel
through.
I
like-
would isolate myself. And
I feel like obviously word would get to me.
Right, and that's
but
what I'm
then
saying.
I
Like,
would
And
have
you
bar
would
to
you.
check
go
in.
over-
but I would not be calling you, is what I'm saying.
I would have to go into Ben's room and console him.
Yeah. Like, I would just try to continue on with my life. Like, yep, it's normal.
Gotcha.
Nothing happened. That's just
Gotcha.
how my deal with emotions. I've never been good with emotions.
Okay.
Emotions are not my thing.
We never really like, and this is not fault of our parents, but like our family's not very lovey-dovey.
Well, that I also don't feel like
Well,
Ben's experienced
think-
such a big event.
Such a big event, yeah.
I have.
He was young.
You were
Yeah.
young, but like
But have you
That
experienced
was-
an event like in your formative, like not formative, 16 and over, I guess would be the question. Like a huge, like life-altering event type thing.
Yeah, my great uncle,
Mm,
Uncle Bob.
mhm.
Oh,
we were
that's
pretty,
when
we were pretty
first-
close with him,
Yeah.
and that was just kind of something that I
That was
just kind
hard.
of pushed off to the
Gotcha.
side and continue on my life with. I don't know.
Okay.
That's
Hey,
just how I deal with
it's-
emotions.
Not everyone's gonna have one, and that's perfectly okay. You know, if you that's how you deal with your emotions, then that's how you deal with your emotions.
I can definitely tell you,
I
it's definitely
guess-
not a healthy way to deal with them. But that's how I deal with them.
I guess
No, but
maybe your 3 a.m. depending on the situation, depending on
would it be your sister? Would you call Ashley if something big happened?
Maybe.
I mean, I feel like I know how to read Ben,
Yeah.
and if I feel something, I'm going to.
But like I said, I don't think I would really reach out to
No.
anybody.
You'd
about
wait
that
till the
'cause
morning when you know everybody's up and you're
I
not.
don't think I still would. It's just
No?
again, that's how I deal
It'd
with
just
my
come in
emotions.
like natural. You'll see us next time and be like, oh yeah, by the way,
Yeah, I guess that's
this happened.
He'll say it in
and
passing,
then
maybe,
continue- and
or
then
he
continue
just
on with my conversation about
yeah,
something else.
goes to work like he always does.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I
mean,
feel
how
like
that's how I cope with it. Is just go on with life.
and
sure.
situational, like I feel if some depending on the situation, maybe Carla wouldn't be my first call. Maybe it would be somebody else or whatever.
I guess yeah, it's all situational.
Like when I went through like my last relationship and we broke up and stuff, my first call was my mom.
Yeah,
well, that could be considered
yeah.
a 3 a.m. friend. You know?
Because
yeah.
like
your VM friend could be anybody.
I knew Carla was in class and stuff, and I really just needed somebody to know what was going on.
But Kyle,
Hmm.
do you have a 3 a.m. friend?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because we spent like back years ago before I was whipped.
Oh, good
You
know,
God! You are not even
we-
close to being whipped.
we spent a lot of time just driving around talking.
Oh
No.
yeah.
And it didn't.
It
It wasn't necessarily anything serious,
no, but it could be too.
but
There
like
were the
other times, there were times like when I was going through a rough patch with my ex or something.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, I'd
There-
call you. I'm like, hey, coming to get you. We're
Yeah.
driving.
You want
Yeah.
to know what I
You
find
know,
funny about that? Kyle's statement that you're his 3 a.m. friend, that he like calls and stuff, but he couldn't call you and tell you that he moved.
Fair point.
that is a fair point.
When he moved to Walworth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb
He did
texted
not.
him and
I
was like,
texted him, I
let's
was
go
like,
for
let's
a
go for a
drive.
drive. And he was like, yeah,
Ooh.
sure.
I was like, do you want the address? He goes,
Yeah.
I know where you're at. And
Yeah,
I'm
he
like,
was
I'm in
no,
Walworth.
I moved. I was like, what are you doing in Walworth? And he was like, I moved. And I was like, what? I was down in Cape Girardeau visiting my ex at the time.
Yeah.
Not ex at the time. My ex-girlfriend. At the time,
Was
he
your girl?
moved.
Yes.
Yes. Anyways, but no, there have been times where at 1 a.m. Kyle either messages me, you up?
Since we've been
And I-
together too.
I always
Um,
messaged him like he was a fucking booty call for some reason. I'm like,
You up? You up? And then if
what
I
you wearing,
responded,
Caleb?
I would always say,
Khakis and a dress shirt. And Caleb
you
goes,
wearing that T-shirt I like?
Caleb goes, khakis and a dress shirt.
You got,
Khakis and a
you got a
polo.
hole in them boxers?
no, Kyle would text me like you up, and I would
His booty
just text
call.
back yes. He'd call me and he'd be like, "Hey, on my way, coming to pick you up," and
Yeah.
I'd be like, "No questions asked, just get dressed real quick." It'd be like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
and like
And we'd be out till like 4.
yeah, just driving around,
Yeah.
chit chatting. A lot of times it was for fun, but there were those few moments where it was because something happened. Kyle was the first person I called when I got broken up with by my last ex.
Mm-hmm.
I was up 2.5 hours away.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
And I went out for a drive after the whole thing happened, and Kyle was immediately the first one I called. And he stayed on the phone with me and stayed on the phone with me. And like that was in the morning that I read that like email letter.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Kyle stayed on the phone with me like throughout that entire day. Like there were moments where I was like, okay, I'll call you back in a little bit. And I'd call him back in a little bit, but he'd answer right
Mhm.
away. That was a rough one for me, but Kyle was there. He was the one who helped console me and helped put me on a right path mentally with that.
Right.
So yeah, but I mean, like Kyle and I have also had our rough patches. There was a period of like 6 months or more, 8 months, we didn't talk to each other.
I mean, eventually Caleb came crawling back.
Oh
I-
my god.
I did message him and apologize, and he asked me
Just
to
stop,
come
you're
see
filling
his
his
new
head.
house.
You're filling his head over there.
I asked him to come
See
see
it
his
growing?
house.
Hometown hero has to come.
Oh,
save
oh
the
my
day.
gosh!
Ashley, you need to pop his head over there.
yeah,
yeah.
I will.
But I remember,
He'll be-
that
Brought back down to reality.
when we rekindled that friendship, I texted Kyle, said, "Hey, I apologize." Blah blah blah. Kyle said, "I moved. You should come see the house," or something like that. And I was
Yeah.
scared. I thought he was gonna have his dad there, and
He
like I
thought I
thought
was gonna
Papa
beat
was
his
gonna be
ass.
there, and I thought they were all just gonna pummel my ass.
Oh good lord.
And so I was nervous. I pulled in the driveway. I was nervous. We talked for about 5 minutes about the situation, apologized. We sat down in lawn chairs and just went on like our friendship never had that 8-month gap.
Well,
We
like,
just caught each other up on life.
well, I wasn't mad with him because he was honest about it. Like, because it was about because he was with my ex
Yes.
and he was very straightforward about it.
Wasn't it also about a cell phone plan too?
That was something that
Partially.
happened. So the situation that happened was I
happened
got
was
together with Kyle's ex, and
while
she
we had a phone plan together.
yeah we had a phone
Is it,
plan
hey,
together.
Isn't it like one of the
bros
number
code.
one thing bro code not to do?
Yes, and I won't ever do it again. But although it did almost happen again, but it was with your blessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this time was not with his blessing. This was kind of like behind Kyle's back. I really went against the bro code, and
Boo.
I did this,
Boo.
but she had told me that some things transpired.
He also didn't try hiding it.
Right. I
Like
was
it was on
honest with Kyle.
Facebook, and he was
I
honest
was.
with me.
What
you
I
know,
Did you like
what
tell her, like,
happened?
never mind, keep going.
You can ask your question.
No, never mind.
What happened was
I was
at
trying to
a
make a joke.
certain
It wasn't be funny.
no. At a certain point, she had told me something that Kyle did to her that did not sit well with me. So I messaged Kyle and was like, pretty much, fuck you. And then I went and sold the phone,
yeah,
and there was an iPad on the plan that was mine. And I sold the iPad and kind of left Kyle high and dry. I got my own phone plan and everything, and like fucked him over majorly.
yeah.
And the night we got back together, that sounds really bad. The night we rekindled our friendship, we sat down for 5 minutes. He said, "How you been?" I was like, "Been good. You? Been good. Bought a house. Blah blah blah." I explained to him why I did what I did. He said, "I understand. I forgive you." And then
Yeah.
we went on like nothing had changed. We caught each other up on life. We talked about the latest drama that was happening in the friend group. We just no beat skipped. And it wasn't until like the fifth time hanging out after that where Kyle was like, "So the phone plan, I owe money
Yeah.
on it." And we came to an agreement because I had bought Kyle an Apple Watch at one point. I was going to pay him an X amount of sum, and then he was going to give me the Apple Watch back, and that was kind of payment.
Yeah.
But that wasn't until like 5 conversations later after we hung out 5 times. And that was just became our thing. We would just, I'd go over like every night. We'd sit down. We'd have one of the Bud Light freaking
Strawberryta.
strawberryta, pineapple Rita,
yeah.
one of those. And we would just chat. That just became our thing to do. Then a couple times I went over to the house and we played NASCAR on a PS2
Yep.
when you had, yeah.
Oh
So,
man. Yeah, that's when I had the weird work schedule.
yeah.
Because
And,
I worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
yeah.
Saturday,
yeah,
off
and
Sunday, Monday.
I worked at the campground at the time, so my schedule was varying.
Mm-hmm.
But we just didn't, there was no beat skipped. And that was like my defining moment for, I think, Kyle and I's friendship, that this was going to be one of those forever friendships that would always last.
right.
You know, which has evolved into him being my 3 a.m. friend. Because I know if I called him and said we're burying a body, it's most likely going to be Tyler's. But
I'd be like, wait, call 811.
call 811 an emergency. However, we'd get through that.
Like, yeah, we're just repairing an underground gas line.
So I'm just looking at my notes. You know,
You took notes on this podcast?
I wrote some things down that I wanted to talk about,
Mm.
and a question. I think this just goes with any friendship. What is the importance of being vulnerable and open with your friends?
Personally, for me, it's like I know I could be open with her because she's like she knows me, she gets me. And like sometimes like in a moment, sometimes you just want the person to have your back and be like, "Yep, yep, like I got you. You're everything, like I'm on your side all the way to the end." Yeah.
Is there ever a time where one of you would be like, "Nope, I think you're wrong,"
Yes.
like not on your side?
What's the what's the biggest disagreement you guys had? Or, whichever. But like have you ever had one?
Yes. and we've talked about it. Like we've talked it out. Um I think most of our like disagreements were it boiled down to social things
Okay.
because like in like our different envisions for like our family had put on us. So like Carla, she's brilliant, she's book smart, she's like 10 out of 10 could go get her doctorate and get it in a heartbeat. When I was raised more sporty,
Right.
but like even though we went different paths and that kind of stuff, she went more academic clubs and stuff and I went more sports.
That thing is straight as a fucking board.
We still always like ate lunch together. We always came back and stuff. I think most of our disagreements were in those areas.
Did you have any disagreements like about boys?
No.
Hmm.
Nope.
So what's the girl code on?
So like we have like a bro code.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm curious what the girl code is on, like, let's say you and Kyle broke up.
Do you have a gal code?
So like let's say we broke up and for whatever reason Carla was interested in me. Is there like a code for that? Like no?
Like, bro code is you
Or-
got to consult the bro first.
Yeah. He has to give you his blessing.
Yeah.
So for Carla and I, 100% like no. We would not go after each other's exes at all. That's our stance. I don't know if there's an actual girl code. I mean, there is about
I
certain
mean,
situations.
It's not
But
like
girls-
an actual written out code either.
No.
Like, bro
Yeah.
code is just
It's a mutual
Yeah.
understanding.
understanding.
An agreement.
Yep.
Girls are different. Girls can play dirty. Girls sometimes don't care about other people's feelings. And so it's
They just care about the drama.
exactly. Some, I don't think Riley would ever do that. We're too close for that. Really, any of the girls in my lineup, I do not think any of them would do that. I can think of a few people in like college or high school that 10 out of 10, no doubt they would do that.
Ashley.
Actually
Yeah. But again,
We
it's
both called
drama.
her out.
It's
Mariah.
it's for drama.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, yeah, Carla and I've had our disagreements, our bits, but it's been nothing where I'm like over like our friendship's over because of it.
Right.
Like throughout the whole wedding planning, that girl has done nothing but like
Be supportive.
be supportive and
Right.
bug the crap out of me because I'm doing too much and she wants to help.
Right. I mean, a little off topic. I mean, it is raining cats and dogs, though.
It really is.
I think it's starting to get harder.
Yeah.
The rain. I'm saying.
Of course, you had to specify, Kyle.
I had to.
So
So
He's
trying to
processing.
think of, like, I wrote my notes down, but I didn't like put them into like great notes, honestly.
He put him in Ben's words.
I guess friendship, I think we can all agree, is a two-way street.
Right.
So how do trying to think here of how to word this. How do you think? I really should have wrote my questions out better than just writing down the topic, Ben's over here still looking up goodbye in different languages.
Shut up.
Oh my goodness. That's why you gotta have a privacy screen, Ben.
Same
Uh,
language is just yeah, never mind.
So the friendship is a two-way street, and we can all agree that. How do you foster that mutual respect and that mutual understanding in a good way? Like, is it just something that's natural?
Can I help you? I'm just doing something. Continue on.
Ben is really trying to find a different way to say goodbye so he stops stealing
Just keep
my
going,
bit.
okay?
Okay, can you repeat what you said? Sorry, I was reading something that said that
I'm
that-
gonna
it said the clit is the powerhouse of the cell. And I started dying. Sorry.
It was so much better on our phones or cameras because this was not getting distracted.
True. We're gonna go ahead and take it back.
No, it's okay.
It's comedy.
Yeah,
Those
let's keep it
comedy relief
running.
of the podcast.
Okay, so
Whatever.
repeat what you said.
Mutual. What did I say? Friendship, two-way street. Yes.
Yes.
How do you foster? And is it something you can do, or is it natural? How do you foster?
Like, how do you form a friendship and keep it going?
Like, how do you feel? How do you foster that two-way street mentality? I guess is what I'm getting
It
at.
has to be resonated. So like you can't have one person put in all the effort almost like you're dating, but it's a friendship. Like you can't have one person putting in all the effort, to make plans, hang out, and then the other person just doesn't do any of that. You know what I'm saying? So like if I called you at 3 a.m., whenever the fuck I wanted, and like that was the only time we talked, but then you just didn't, like, it wouldn't work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, like when Ben wants to hang out or something, like if he wants to go to the shooting range, like I'll be like, yeah, sure, let's go. And like if I want to, and he wants to tag along, he can. Like I always ask him,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's not always one or the other asking, every single time, you know.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like one day I'm like, hey, let's go. And the next time you're like, hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys never invite me.
You're always working. We
The
have invited.
invite would still
We
be nice.
have invited
one
you,
time.
and you missed it.
One
Yeah,
time.
you slept in.
Yeah, the very first time we invited you. Oh, I slept in, guys. Sorry, I'm not gonna make it now.
Yeah.
I had closed the night before. I'm sorry.
Okay, and then don't complain when we don't invite you.
Well, invite me again, and I'll make sure to be there on time.
We'll
Before
see
you.
about that one. We'll see about that one.
I want to include Ben in this more because Ben's not talking a lot because he had to look up frickin'
Well,
how do you say goodbye in different languages.
we have to get Ashley's input too
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
this
Ashley's
one.
input.
So, friendship is a two-way street.
Yeah.
And so, the question is, Kyle, you worded it perfectly. How did you word it?
So the energy, if you want to call it that, needs to be reciprocated the same way. So like one person can't be putting in all the effort, like dating wise, right? Like if we're dating, I can't put in all the effort and just have you not put in any effort. Like I feel like friendship is the same way. Like if you want to hang out with Carla, you're not gonna keep making plans every single time you want to hang out and just have her not do it. Like I feel like, it would have to be 50-50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like
The only caveat I'm going to say to that is I think while that is true when you're younger, I think as you get older,
you have to work around work schedules.
yeah, you're working around a lot more. So I think one of those friends is the one that kind of cultivates that
Right.
do you want to hang out mentality.
Right. But like for example, so going off of that, it'd be like, "Hey Caleb, do you want to hang out?" And you're like, "Oh, no, I got work in a couple hours." And then I just don't hear from him. And then like a couple of days later I'm like, "Oh, well I kind of want to hang out with Caleb. Like, hey, do you want to hang out?" no, I gotta open in the morning, and then I don't hear anything, like, like I feel like it would have to be reciprocated. Like he's like, oh, I'm off. Like, do you want to do something?
Yeah.
You know,
I guess where where my mind was going with this too was like, as we get older, right? I think there is that one friend that always does have to try to make the plans, right? Like, do you want to hang out, or for in our case, do you want to record the podcast tonight,
Ben looks like Woody
right?
when Andy's around.
So
so what?
I
So
think it's very personality. You're gonna gravitate towards somebody that it's gonna be the push and pull. It's never always gonna be 50-50.
right,
Someone's always pushing, someone's always pulling, and those roles are always gonna be reversing based on
But
the
they have to
day,
click.
what they're doing. Exactly. If you're not clicking, then you're not gonna hang out, and the friendship's gonna fizzle.
Like same energy,
Right.
So like you and me, Caleb, we have like the same fucking energy. Like,
I mean, we're practically brothers.
right.
I mean,
But I
we
will
do think we
say-
were switched at birth.
I do say, like, I mean, I do have my handful of friends where I'm like, this is my calm group. Like, this
Right.
is
You
this
have
is
a party
it.
group,
Yep.
you have
This
a
group.
calm group,
What is this group?
Yeah.
50-50.
The group I'm stuck with.
Yeah.
The tolerable group.
One of them is your brother. One of them's your future
My own
husband,
son.
and one of them is your future husband's best friend.
Yeah,
It just
Caleb,
randomly shows up.
you're
and comes
just
around.
here.
I'm not even a part of the friend group. I'm
No,
just
I'm
we've
kidding.
just
We've
here.
already determined that we don't like you. Oh, did we not know that? Oh, sorry.
Ben's dissing. Anywho, no, I do think it's always going to be pushing and pulling.
So
Adulthood changes that.
I was gonna say, like, the thing I've noticed is that while Kyle doesn't, and this is gonna sound really bad.
It's probably gonna be really bad.
Just say it.
Kyle doesn't necessarily reach out to me and say, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" He does occasionally. I think a lot of times
he says
it's
it
me.
in different ways.
Right. But like I think a lot of times it's me saying, "Hey, what are you guys doing tonight?" Like last Tuesday when I called Kyle, I was like, "What are you guys doing for dinner?" "I don't know. You want to go out to dinner?"
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
But
You were
see,
at class.
I feel like
But
that
like-
An
too,
invite would have been nice.
if
But
we
like-
agree, like it's not like I'm blowing you off,
Right.
but like it's like, oh yeah, we can do dinner. Like I even called her. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
do you want to have dinner?
Yeah.
So we
So,
accepted.
I- Where I'm going with this is like if I'm the one always kind of making the in-person plans or the plans with you, right? And I know the answer to this, but I want to hear your thoughts. How do you give your energy to me then to kind of reciprocate that and it be on that equilibrium scale? You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm asking, or do I need to
Yeah.
rephrase it?
So I feel like the equal to that would be if me and Ashley were in town or something, or even if I was, like, for whatever reason, like if I texted you or called you like, hey, I'm in town. Do you want to grab dinner or chat or something? Like there's been times where I'm in Beloit for like a emergency or something, and I've just stopped by your house.
Yeah.
And I've been like, hey, come outside.
Yeah. And I'm like, why? Just do it.
Even when I got my new car, I'm pretty sure I just like I was in town for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I stopped by.
You just called me and you're like, hey, you home? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, come outside. Oh, okay.
but most of the time, Ashley's with me, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but like it's mostly for like my mom, because
Right.
like, I mean, yeah,
Right.
and like by the time we leave there, it's already like late.
Yeah,
you
no, I
know.
know. And see, I understand that.
Right.
So I guess, because like when we were younger, it was like 50-50.
Yeah,
You want
because
to hang out?
I lived literally
night.
like
Well, yeah, but
a
I'm saying
mile
like,
away.
I would message you and be like, "Do you want to hang out?"
Right.
The next day, you'd be like, "Do you want to hang out?" And then just back and forth like that every other day.
There is a song that I listen to. It's called Endless Nights, and it talks about like uh you know, wanting to go back to those endless nights that you spent with your friends,
Yeah.
where like, you could hang out all night and it just felt like it was endless. Like you'd never get bored. You just keep talking to one another about anything.
Oh my God, Carla and
You
I
know,
do that all the time at sleepovers.
like
Do you
yeah,
know
like
who it's by?
I miss. Well, I'm not sure if it's a song that's to your taste.
That's fine.
Um,
I still want to know.
it's hang on.
But yeah, so like I guess
Figure It Out.
I figure it out.
Yeah,
That's an interesting name for a
a band.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty depressing.
Is it this one?
Yeah. Fucking jumped.
That was a little loud.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay.
Headphone warning. Late.
Late headphone warning. Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just it's just going on about, wanting to go back to those endless nights. And like, I feel like that's very true in our circumstances. 'Cause like back in the day, we spent so many nights
Yeah.
just driving around, hanging out, like,
So on that note, I guess a question for Ashley or Ben or everyone. I know Kyle's answer. Do you have that friend? Okay, let's just say I'm going to give you a for instance. Let's just say you are offered a $1 million. You get one phone call to one friend that'll hang out with you for 24 hours. The only caveat is you cannot stop talking for the 24 hours. Like actual meaningful conversation. Do you have that?
Yeah.
So like you and Carla could just
Oh
talk
my
for
God.
24 hours and just nonstop and it'd be
they're
actionable.
girls, Caleb. They're
we
girls.
would
I know.
just start like we even were like we just gotta go through the yearbook and it's like
Oh my gosh, do you remember this year when this happened? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
was so cute.
yeah. Well,
you-
even when we like did the invitations for the wedding,
Yeah.
I mean, it was like no time has passed, and Kyle got to see that firsthand because she lives in Madison and we live still down here, which is fine. But like Kyle got it firsthand, seeing her and I like interact instead of just hear the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anyone like that, Ben?
Guess Kyle would be the only other person.
Fucking bullshit.
What about On Eagle's Wings? Or
Don't even mention the school shooter.
what's his name?
Wait, what?
Thomas?
Thomas.
You know,
Oh,
I don't really talk to him that often, to be honest.
Dude, he had his engagement pictures and he wasn't smiling.
really?
He was straight faced.
Oh my goodness.
It was like his engagement pictures. Yeah, he was just like his fiance, wife, whatever. She was smiling, and then you
Give
get
me a
him. He's
sec.
just
Don't get it.
straight faced. Like it was comical.
So I think we have a good understanding of the 3 a.m. friend and
Yeah.
friendship.
In the question
And-
thing, we should do a poll to see how many people have an actual
Yeah.
3 a.m. friend.
Who, although I don't know with our new provider if we can do polls, but I'll try. I'll look into it.
Caleb.
I can't see what I'm saying.
Here's this one.
Is that at his wedding?
Yeah. That's at this wedding.
He's just,
That's him walking down the aisle after they said there I do's and stuff to
oh my
Like you thought Ben had no
gosh.
personality. What about that?
That's why him and Ben get along.
He's worse.
This is his profile.
Oh my goodness. Does he ever smile?
There.
Why does that look like a mugshot?
I was trying.
There.
It's
I
not.
I hung out with Ben in Thomas one day because we were gonna go out on the boat, and it
Oh,
was raining.
wow.
but we never went out on the boat. But I was trying to get this kid to
Thanks
laugh.
for the invite.
I was trying to get him to laugh, so I was making jokes,
I can't fit
and
that
like
people on my boat.
the whole time he's like, like straight faced, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so funny, like just patting myself on the
Kyle's
back,
ego just went. "Meow."
like
Oh,
no
I
reaction.
have to tell you, in our last leadership class that I took, we learned about ego. And you know what was one of the most mind-blowing things about ego?
What's that?
Just describe Kyle perfectly.
No.
No.
Because when you think ego, you think someone who's arrogant, egotistical,
Tyler.
blah,
Yep.
blah, blah.
Kyle.
Someone who is self-conscious has just as much ego as someone who is arrogant.
Because they're faking it, trying to make themselves look
Yes.
better, but it's actually to make them feel better.
It blew my fucking mind.
That's like social work and psychology.
Okay, well, guess what?
He doesn't have a master's.
I am a
in it.
restaurant manager.
You should let me come in, and I will.
He has a manager's in a
I'll
restaurant.
give you it. I'll give you the breakdown.
Okay. No, the guy who actually presented for us in the leadership class was an 18-year psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
So he went through like a whole bunch of stuff like, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
And he was going through like, what defines you as a person?
Tyler.
And no, he was like, my name, my age, my blah, blah, blah. And then like at the end of the conversation, he was like, none of that describes who you are as a person. Because all of that changes. Not name, but, well, name can. Name can, in Ashley's case, here in a month and a half, 2 months.
9 weekends.
Dang.
Even for me,
But
like my
so,
name
like,
changes by
name-
person. Like if I'm closer to you, call me Ben. But if you're not, like then I can let you call me Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your
Okay.
name can change. But then he was like, there's only one thing that doesn't change. Can you guess what it is?
Ashley.
And we were all like, what doesn't change? Because like relationships change.
Mm-hmm.
Your history changes.
I'll see
We
if
even
Ashley
talked about your memories, like not even being 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Well,
And I
yeah.
was just like,
Well, some
oh
people.
my gosh.
Well, it's the same thing as like
some
you,
people, if
they
you
call
tell a
911.
lie, enough times, they start believing it.
yeah.
like, You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like someone could call 911, tell the dispatcher one thing, we arrive on scene, and they're telling us a total different scenario.
yeah.
Their
Yeah.
memory just changed that little bit of time of them
Yeah.
sitting there thinking about it.
It's crazy. It was mind-boggling to me. But you know what? The only thing that doesn't change, because we were all like, "Oh, our cellular structure in our body,"
Oh my
and he was
God.
like, "No, because that changes. You
It
gain
does.
weight, you
Mhm.
lose weight."
Yep.
your
Your cells
cellular
dies. Yep.
He was like, "That changes."
Your
We were
skin
like, "Oh my
replaces,
gosh,
Yeah.
what is it?" He was like, "The existence of you as a person,"
Yeah.
and I was just like, "What?" So like he had us do an exercise of like not thinking, which is weird,
Mm-hmm.
but like the way he described it was perfect. You ever driving down the road and
You forget.
you like wake up at one point, it seems like, and you're like, how the hell did I just make it an hour?
That happened to me in Madison.
It happens all the time.
I was leaving Madison, drove down the Beltline, and the next thing I remembered, I'm going past Stoughton. And I'm like,
muscle
Yeah.
memory.
when did I get
Yeah,
off the Beltline?
It's all muscle memory. But like, I guess, according to him, and I believe it, but like that is you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the existence of you as a person is the only thing that describes who you are.
Right.
There's things in time that can describe who you are in that moment, but even that changes day to day, hour by hour, minute by minute.
Right.
And I was just like, holy fuck, what am I listening to? My notes, because it wasn't in the like workbook we were using. So like we had a notes page just fully filled with notes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is mind-blowing stuff
Mhm.
right now. It was an amazing class. I know I just got us so sidetracked.
No, it kind of had
But
to
that
do with
was that was like so crazy to me. But like even to tie it in, as far as the memories are concerned and how those change, Kyle and I's memories of throwing a picnic table somewhere that shouldn't have been probably are different.
Or a slide. Or a trash can.
No, none of those. We never did anything with those.
Mm-hmm.
But like our memory of that stuff is probably
think
different,
I
and it's not just because we're
I
different
think I
people.
witnessed the trash can one.
experiencing-
Is there a pig in here?
I-
That was such a girly laugh.
I had to demonstrate to Ben what it was like and the adrenaline, man.
Wait, what?
The
Y-
trash
you
can
were
going
with
over
us.
the hill.
Oh yes.
Okay. Are we good with this episode? Oh,
I don't
No.
want to be good with this episode.
It's only been like 45 minutes.
It's been 50.
Yeah,
Was it?
you're 5
Yeah.
minutes off. Get your
Yeah.
time right.
Come on,
I was
Kyle.
close.
Yeah,
Not close
your,
enough.
Your memory is not good enough.
Let's check the timer.
Improve your memory.
Oh, that's 10 minutes longer.
But yeah, no, that ego class
Mhm.
changed my perspective on a lot. I was like, oh my gosh. But I think you can tie ego into friendships too, because Kyle has a big ego, and so do I. But
What
my
was-
ego is bigger in a different way.
What was that question I asked you a couple days ago? We were on the phone and we were asking each other like some deep questions.
Oh,
What
you
was
wanna
the
do one of-
first one?
You want to do one of these?
Yeah. What was the
The
first
very
one
first
I asked
one?
you? Yeah.
The very first one.
Something about regrets, wasn't it?
Biggest regret. No, but if you want to ask one of these questions to these two, I'm down for it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna do one. Okay.
Okay.
Probably my favorite question from that day. All right. I'm gonna ask you a question. I want you to answer honestly. Okay.
Ooh.
You both of you.
Oh,
you
boy.
both
Yeah.
get a chance to answer. Kyle and I already know who ours are, so we can just kind of explain ours while you guys are thinking. So, two people. You get to choose two people that can come back. Okay. From the no longer living state. One of them comes back during your lowest of low times. A death, a divorce, anything that would be considered a lowest of low for you.
But to
They
bring
can
you up.
only, yeah, their job is to try to bring you up emotionally, like support you through this. The other person can come back during your highest of high times to celebrate with you. They have to be two separate people, and they can only come back for about 20 to 30 minutes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know who your people are. At what point would you bring them back? Would it be your lowest of lows? Would it be your highest of highs? And why?
So maybe I'm the oddball and stuff, but personally, I would choose neither. My logical thinking is, and maybe this is because of my schooling and stuff, but if I'm going to be at a lowest of low and I like somebody's going to come back to help me through it and stuff, you always go back into that low. I mean, it's life. That's you you do these up and downs. And if this person can only come back for 20 30 minutes to help me through in that moment and their job is to lift me up, I'm going to go back into
You
that.
feel like it's not enough time?
Yes, and I would go back into that low to keep having that happen. So now
Okay.
you're creating
Okay.
a negative pattern associated with something, and so you're gonna write your brain. It's gonna learn that if I keep having these lows, this is what's gonna happen. If I keep
Oh.
having this high, I'm gonna force everything for myself to be in this high because this person is coming back and I can see them and all this stuff. But then I'm going to go through a heartbreak because, again, they're leaving me. And so you're going to put yourself through more stress. You're going to psychologically mess up the emotional state of your brain. You're just going to do more damage than good. In the
Okay.
moment, it's going to feel good. Your dopamine, your serotonin, everything is high on life.
That was kind of my answer to one of them.
Yeah.
it was one of the questions Caleb had asked me.
Yeah, Kyle and I do
Who-
this. We just ask each other some like deep questions.
Yeah,
Which is fine. And like in a heartbeat, I would love to hug my grandpa again, but I do not like that physical pain in my heart being told that like he's no longer here, that you're not going to smell his gum, you're not going to see him sitting in his orange chair watching his mash, like that physical pain I do never ever want to experience again. And if I'm in a low and he comes to hug me or I smell his gum, like the memories are good enough for me because I don't want to
rehash it.
rehash it, redo that hurt, and then tell myself that I need to forever be in this low just to see him.
Yeah, because one of the answers that I answered was it had to do with Papa, and I said I wouldn't bring him back.
Yep.
Because I wouldn't want to go through that grief again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't want to
Yeah, that was
experience
the
that.
if you could bring someone back for 24 hours
Yeah,
question.
like I mean, it sounded bad, but I wouldn't do him just because
I would hope you wouldn't do him.
of how it felt.
Yeah.
The first time, and I
Yep.
wouldn't want to experience that again.
Yeah.
Because now you're saying
Um,
you're having to say goodbye a
Again,
second time, and
yeah.
Right.
I don't care. It never gets easier.
Yeah.
It ends up hurting more.
And I had chose Grandma Morse, like Laura. I chose her because I was still young when she passed. I
Mhm.
was like 9 or 10, I think. I chose her because I feel like there's so much more that we could talk about, and like that I could learn
Accuracy.
from her, and that she could tell me about like when I was younger. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And like I feel like I'd be okay with that. Granted, it would still hurt when she had to leave again, but it would just be interesting to
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. My answer to that question was actually situational, and it was you had asked this question because I had asked, do they remember me? Do they know who I am? Or do they like have they been following my life up to this point? Or
Are they gonna appear and be like, "Who the hell are you?"
is it their memory of me stops when they
When they
passed?
passed.
And my answer was different for both. My answer was if they followed my life through, it would be my grandpa Dasso that I never got to meet because I was 6 months when he passed. And that would be because I want to know who my grandpa is. And if he knows me, then I can talk to him
Mhm.
about what's going on in my life. If it wasn't, if it was memory stopped, the thing for me was I couldn't get my grandpa Dasso because he's not going to know who I am, what I look
Mhm.
like, or anything like that. And so there's going to be that awkward stage of I'm your grandson and I want to talk to you.
Right.
So I would bring back my grandpa Grade from my mom's side, and talk to him and give him an update on like how my life is going
Mhm.
and everything. Someone who's been awfully quiet is Ben, and I'm curious of Ben's answer to either one or both of those questions.
I don't know. I really haven't lost. I mean, I guess I was my grandpa and my uncle, or great uncle, but I don't know. I really don't have anybody that I would bring back. I haven't had a significant loss in my family.
So-
Close to
Okay,
me,
Ben.
Then let's ask your
So-
original question, which I remember what it is.
Okay.
It was if you were to die tonight, what would be something you would regret either not telling anyone, something like
Hang
that,
on, let
right?
me look.
I know that I had asked while Kyle's looking that up. I had asked a question too,
Actually, Ashley
and that
has
was, and that was if you were
it. It was
to
one
be
of our
given
questions.
if you were to be given 12 hours to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, someone just told you, like, 12 hours from now, so, whatever, 11 o'clock a.m. You're gonna pass.
I think it was this
What
one
would you do?
or that one. It was one of
Would you
them.
go hang out with anyone in particular? Would you kind of mope about it? Would you?
I think I would just go to my happy places, just out my boat fishing,
I
and
forgot
just
to
sit there and
answer it because I
enjoy
had
and
asked
Okay.
him.
kind of sit there and just reminisce about my life and all the good times I've had. And I don't know. I think I'd just go sit on my boat where I'm happy and sit there, fish, and
Okay. So if you were to die this evening with no opportunity to tell anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone, and why haven't you told them yet?
Yep.
Yeah. I know.
no clue.
I know my answer. I had to think about it, and it was essentially not. I used Kyle as an example when I talked to him, but it's not telling my friends I love them more.
In like a no homo way.
Yeah, no homo. No
As long
homo.
as you say no homo, it's not gay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That would be honestly mine, is telling, like, the three of you that I don't ever tell you guys I love you, because I just assume it's implied,
Right.
right?
Ben,
So
And mine,
is your heart getting all warm and fuzzy having
No.
Caleb told you that he loves you?
No.
mine was not telling my family I love them enough, just because like I never just randomly reach out because I'm not like I'm not that kind of person, like it's hard for me to just say my feelings out of the blue. So like that's why doing my vows is going to be really hard cuz like I just don't do that.
I think I got an answer.
So like the only time I tell anyone of my family that I love them is like if I'm leaving, like if I go see them and I'm leaving, it's like, "Oh, I love you," or drive safe, something like that. But I don't just call my dad and I'm like, "Hey, you know, uh just letting you know like I love you. Everything is okay though, but you know what I'm saying?" Like I never just do that. So like that would be mine.
I think mine would be not telling the people who helped me, like my family, friends, like close friends and close family, how much I
Thomas.
appreciate how much they've helped me with things. Like even if it's like help with my boat or something like that, just like anything simple to anything more extensive. Like
Right.
I guess it's not telling people how much I appreciate them, not as much as I should.
Yeah, I
That's
feel
fair.
that's where I was going to.
Like there's quite a few people in my life who've helped me out with like even random things, like I said, helping with little things with my boat, to emotional, to money wise or anything like that. And I just don't tell those people, I guess,
Right.
how much I appreciate them with that stuff. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
no, that's fair. There's no right or wrong answer. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
one last question for you guys, podcast related. Have you guys found the podcast to be beneficial to you in exploring as an outlet to
Expressing
express
feelings.
and like express feelings and kind of get some things off your chest?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to air
and I
some
f-
things out, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like we have more deeper conversations because we're doing something with a purpose
Right.
and not just like shooting the shit between each
Because
other.
to be
Yeah.
honest, about that call where that guy died, I don't know if I ever would have just opened up to you guys about that.
You
would've
would
had-
have in time.
I think you guys would
Yeah.
have more of force it out of me than I would have just like voluntarily just said it. Like I would have texted
Yeah.
Ashley, "Hey, I need to talk about this."
Right.
Like, it was because of the podcast is why I texted her that day saying, "Hey, let's talk about this on the podcast." I don't think otherwise I would have said that, and it would sort of maybe I guess come out in conversation, but I would have blown over. I would have gone as deep in as we did, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
I know for me personally, it's been great, and I love doing it. The only thing I will say I miss is I do occasionally miss like getting together and not talking to each other, and talking to each other without a microphone in front of our
Why don't we
face.
do that
Mm.
then?
Yeah.
I mean, we can. It's just we all have limited schedules
Yeah.
that we have to try to get a
And
podcast
that time where we
episode
would
recorded.
sit there, we'd record a
Yeah.
podcast instead.
Yeah. That's the only thing I like would say. Like that's why I called Kyle and Ashley
11,
last
11,
week.
make a wish.
All right, it's made. But that's why I called Kyle and Ashley last week and was like, "Do you guys want to do dinner?" Because like I'm tired of talking to you guys with a microphone in my face.
Caleb just
Right.
wanted to tell
So-
me how stupid he was about a girl.
On that note, I think this is a good ending point for our episode today. I think this was a great conversation. I think we did get a little off topic in a couple areas. I think it didn't flow as smooth as I was kind of hoping it would, but I think that's okay. I hope you found value in this episode. And Ben looks tired.
I
Yeah.
am.
Do you have your language up so that way?
You better be up in 52 minutes
Yeah.
or 42 minutes.
Anyways, I think that this has been a great episode. If you feel the same way, feel free to share it. I'm sure you have another friend that would like to hear the content. And you should rate us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you can rate us. Obviously, 5 stars, please. Duh. Anyways, you should follow our social media. We have our Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Facebook is.
I
I'm spacing out for a second. Kindling Conversations.
Instagram,
Kindling Conversations.
TikTok.
Kindling conversations.
Yeah, we have to have the dot in there. 'Cause when we tried to set everything up, we kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the dot.
Our Twitter /X, because it got rebranded, is at Kindling Convos. You know what's weird? Is I couldn't make it Kindling Conversations because it was too long.
Really?
Yeah. It's the only reason that one's Kindling Convos.
What in the world?
But our website is kindlingconversations.com. Join our Discord and maybe get the, what are we calling them? Ember?
The
Embers.
embers.
Get our Ember tag. Kindlingconversations.com.
If you have a better one,
Share it.
share it.
We'd love to hear
That
it.
was just a
Toss it
quick
out
off
there.
the top of the head one.
Yeah. But kindlingconversations.com/Discord. And I don't know how many we'll go with, but if you're one of the first few members in our Discord, we'll give you that little special tag. And as
Or
always,
if you can prove that you watch all the podcasts or listen to all the podcasts, we can give you that tag too.
Yeah.
But I know we appreciate all of the support. And be on the lookout for some new and exciting things coming from us. Some new episodes, fun episodes.
Let's say we have new and exciting things.
Potential big announcement
Potential.
in a couple weeks.
We
Yeah.
do.
Potential.
Mhm. Potential.
I still need to talk to you two about
It's
it.
a
but
strong potential, but
yeah.
Alrighty.
I have something being shipped to me.
Oh boy.
So it's kind of a trial run. And if it works out,
You
I'll
have
have
a 3D print part? You have a 3D printer in the way?
maybe.
I got one of those already. If you do, then just ask me. I could do it.
Oh, can you make us a Kindling Conversations logo? 3D?
Could.
Ooh. That'd be awesome.
All right.
No, but
Kudos,
anyways,
everybody.
thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.
deuces.
Adios.
See ya.